checking out one of the coolest products made in the Great Lakes state. Let's go check out Stormy Kromer.
Since 1903, Stormy Kromer has been producing wool caps to keep our heads warm. But I wanted to learn more about the history of this made in Michigan icon. Bob was just the guy to talk to. He purchased Stormy Kromer in the early 2000s.
So tell me a little bit about the origin of Stormy Kromer.
It would be really cool if I could have a hat in my hand.
Okay, grab one.
This is a Stormy Kromer hat, and this is basically Stormy Kromer, his passion was baseball. He actually had to ask his future father-in-law 3 times to marry her because the first 2 times he was only an amateur baseball player. So he ended up reluctantly getting a job and going back and try 3 and ended up getting the opportunity to marry Ida. But then one of his jobs was to stick his head out the railroad window of the moving train to look for obstructions in the tracks up ahead. And at 1903, there was not a fitted hat that visored your eyes and covered your ears. So he asked his wife to put ear flaps on a baseball hat. So the whole thing is this, where the ear flaps come down off of, and this is the original way that they made baseball hats in 1903. We actually put the story in every hat, and lots of people think we made this up, but this is actually how it happened. It has this great history up here, and there's tons of stories of how people use these hats and how much they loved them. And it was kind of, the knee jerk for us was to buy the company and just think that it was really cool, but we really didn't see the potential that this hat not only had stories, but it's making thousands of stories.
Newly appointed CEO Gina has plenty of stories about the hat as well.
I grew up within this business. Like, I've always said that making things feels like it's like in my DNA. My sister and I would spend Saturday morning, my dad worked Saturday mornings when I was a kid because the business was super tiny, and that's what you do with tiny businesses. You work hard to, make it work. So my sister and I would hang out with him on Saturday mornings, and we would kind of like, we learned to make change in the cash register, and we pretended to answer the phones, and we did all these things kind of modeling my dad, what he was doing.
Stormy Kromer has been synonymous with hard work for over a century.
This hat was the Upper Peninsula's working man's hat and fishing hat. I mean, this is, as a kid, I remember a guy with a worn out Carhartt jacket and a black Stormy Kromer hat working and pounding nails and, building someone's home in the cold.
But the hard work hasn't stopped yet.
We are still very much a small company. We tend to present ourselves pretty well, so we kind of give the image of a larger company, but this is still a bunch of hardworking folks from the UP and northern Wisconsin, really working hard every day to grow business.
It's time to head to the factory and see where the magic happens.
Keep in mind that this sewing company never made a hat or a piece of clothing before. So these talented, amazing people that you're going to go see now, this started from scratch.
The quality of these hats start with the material and the people. Very little is automated. The majority of the process is hands-on from a small group of sewers, which is quite the feat if you think about it. These dedicated craftspeople are what makes Stormy Kromer what it is today.
We all try to do really good work because they're good hats.
How long have you been with Stormy Kromer?
25 years last month.
Oh my goodness, congratulations. All right, what's your favorite part about the job?
Well, I get to move around a little bit, doing this job, that job, that job, that job. So that's really fun. A lot of nice people. We try to have a little fun once in a while.
One of our core values as a company is proud and passionate because, I hear from our employees sometimes when they were in an airport somewhere and they saw someone wearing a cap and they're like, I made that. And it's, that's what it's about.
The passion exuded by the employees is truly contagious.
I like the look of it. It's just, I like going to town and watching people wear,
And I'm sure you see it all the time up here.
yeah, even out of town. That I love. And I go, I love you, Stormy Kromer.
But this pride isn't just from those creating the products, it's also from the consumers.
We're bigger than we imagined, and a lot of it is because of that Made in Michigan pride. So the whole state of Michigan kind of is behind us, and I think they love the fact that it's coming from the UP.
We really invested quite a lot actually in our women's apparel line this fall, so there's a number of new women's pieces that we're really excited about. We're continuing to try to grow that line, for probably, I don't know, 90 years of this company's history, it was primarily a man's brand. So we're really excited to broaden that. There's some great new pieces.
As this company continues to grow and evolve, it doesn't lose its connection to its roots.
I'll get a call and somebody will say, I just want you to know that I bought a new Kromer cap, put it on my dad's head, kissed his forehead, and closed the casket. I mean, we have that happen all the time. I mean, it's just like, this has just become part of people's being.
Stormy Kromer is so much more than a hat.